Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a special report regarding one man, Albert Einstein.
Now, everyone has heard of his equation E equals mc squared, but most people don't understand just how large of an impact Einstein himself has made on our world. He even helped to discover nuclear fission, which led to various forms of nuclear power that we have today.
Well, he didn't become Time's Person of the Century for just any reason, though. His works in physics with the theory of general relativity has become one of the two pillars of modern theoretical physics. And this isn't even what gave him the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921.
Well, I think our favorite guest, Mr. Wheeler, could have won the Time Person of the Century, but he has contributed a lot to both centuries, and I think they just don't know where to put him. Also, Einstein was too cliché.
I totally agree with you, but this broadcast is about Einstein. We talk about Mr. Wheeler all the time in our other broadcasts, so let's keep this one on.
Fine.
So, as Bo forgot to mention, Albert Einstein had a major impact on other aspects of life outside of science, too. One of the biggest being his contributions to World War II.
Mr. Wheeler made contributions to World War II also, but they're classified. Just putting that out there.
Yes, and he also invented the wheel. But Einstein helped the United States by warning them about German nuclear research, which they started before we ever had the idea. So Einstein sent a letter to Franklin D. Roosevelt himself, warning him that the Germans are researching a bomb and that it is scientifically feasible.
FDR, being minuscule in might to Mr. Wheeler, ignored this letter for 2 whole years until tension rose with Japan and Germany. After he remembered, he created the famous Manhattan Project, heeding Einstein's warning.
The destructive power of these bombs would be enough to wipe out entire cities, much like Mr. Wheeler's massive destruction of calories.
Although Einstein did warn against using the atomic bombs, he saw it as a better alternative to the Germans being the only ones to have any. Ironically, the Germans ended their front in atomic bomb research shortly before the Manhattan Project was even formed.
So without Einstein's theories of nuclear fission, and without his letter to FDR, the world as we know it could be dramatically changed?
Yes, nearly as much as if Mr. Wheeler's Wheelerisms were never published.
Although nuclear weapons are quite controversial and widely debated, without Einstein's persuasion, the Allied powers may have even lost World War II. At the very least, our efforts against Japan would have been radically different, possibly ending many more lives on the American side.
Interesting. So Einstein persuaded the Americans to start their nuclear research, and as a result led the world to create both nuclear weapons and, later on, use nuclear power as a source of energy.
Yes, and we are currently known to be in the atomic age. This wouldn't even be true if not for Einstein's contributions to World War II.
Well, that just about covers it, and we'll see you all next week with a brand new broadcast of the popular hit, Mr. Wheeler's Daily Life.